pleasure to announce to the court that Horace Charles Moore has been a freeman for 60 years now, and has served loyally on this jury for a good number of those years. I believe it's 55. We have had a parchment drawn up by Maris Kerridge, who does similar work for Rochester Cathedral, to commemorate his achievement. Under his tutelage, 10 apprentices came through to become freemen, many of them here today. They are Simon, Michael Arnold, Joshua Aaron Brewer, Thomas Edward Brewer, Philip Brewer, Brad, Gary Spencer, Nicky Timothy, Stephen Bob Trice, and myself. Could I please ask the Admiral to present his parchment to Mr. Horace Charles Moore with a nice bottle to help celebrate this achievement, this milestone. So if Horace would like to step forward. Thank you for that. Mr. Mayor, Admiral of the River Medway, and members of the Admiralty Court. May I first thank all of the councillors for attending the Admiralty Court today. It's hard to believe that more than a year has passed since the last court, and I hope you enjoy the ceremonies over this weekend, marking the ancient beating of the bounds over the exclusive area of the River Medway. The backing of the councillors, and especially those of you who sit on the court, is vitally important to the fishery, and it gives us great reassurance to have your continued support when required. I would like to thank our Chief Exec, Mr. Neil Davies, for acting as Registrar this morning. His help and influence is always a blessing to the fishery. We extend a warm welcome to the freemen of our nearest guild, the colourful Guildhall Manor of Southwark, and the enthusiasm they impart. Additionally, it is good to have our area warden of the Freemen of England and Wales of the South East, Nick Johnson, here once again. Thank you, Nick. It is also a pleasure to have the head of the Kennett Inshore Fisheries Conservation Authority, Dr. Will Wright, here this morning. I feel certain that this will be the first court like ours he has attended, and it is great to have the help and advice of our local IFCA, through juror and IFCA member Simon Anderson. My personal thanks also go to Jo Canty, the Mayor's PA, for all her kind assistance she gives me over the year on different fishery matters, and her patience. Thank you, Jo. On behalf of the fishery, we thank all the officers of Rochester Cruising Club for this busy Admiral's Cruise weekend, especially Ian Foster, Cruise Coordinator, whose planning, organisation and hospitality are instrumental in ensuring the safe and enjoyable event. Thank you, Ian. Fishery business seems to be on a relatively even keel and has been quite quiet. I hope that remark does not tempt fate. All rents are now secured except one, which always pays late. This year's sole season seems to be consistent with reasonable returns for those trawling. The Thames estuary has seen an abundance of good thornback skate this year, with bass and smoothhounds now showing. There has also been plenty of mackerel locally and herring from the lower reaches of the Medway. Good-sized red gurnards are on the ground, and even a surprise couple of decent turbot making an appearance. There also seems to be an abundance of good-sized oysters, very widespread throughout the river, all of which is encouraging to see, and we would hope as a direct result of the successful management of the river by its freemen. In fact, Will Wright has generously offered Ithaca's services to undertake a survey of the oyster stock in the river by his officers. This would be a very worthwhile project and something we would like to see. Tongue in cheek, I had an email from the Rochester Bridge Trust who asked the Fishery for consent to undertake some repair work to the bridge buttons. The question was whether all the oysters attached to the stonework belonged to the bridge wardens or the Fishery. I replied that as a gesture of goodwill, the oysters attached to the bridge could be removed by the bridge wardens, but they would first have to obtain a licence from the Chamber. Although it would be hard to make a living from fishing, our members are proud to be freemen and important for the conservation of our fish diversity in our exclusive area. It was with some surprise that it was announced Medway Ports was closing its operation at Sheerness, following a costing review by Bill Ports. There will be some work subcontracted out, but generally there will be no administration locally. And the Fishery wonders how this will impact on the river, with people potentially flouting the licensing arrangements. Time will tell, but it is a time to keep a vigilant eye on development works. It was pleasing to see Stephen Harris indentured to Paul Starling today, and also to see Robin Elizabeth Waddens and Thomas Richard Turner sworn in as jurors this morning. We extend a warm welcome to all three of you. I can tell the court that the death of Stephen Trice at sea last year is going to Crown Court following an extensive investigation by the Marine Accident Investigation Board. It is scheduled to be heard in Southampton in January 2015. Following last year's court, Canon Philip Hesketh of Rochester Cathedral helped organise a book of remembrance of Stephen and an evensong service as a tribute to the Mayoralty and the Fishery. This was very well received, and a carved wooden plaque is being finished to hang in the cathedral to mark the presence of the Fishery, past and present, with the Cathedral of Rochester. When this happens, the Fishery would like past Admiral Councillor Josie Isles and her husband Steve to attend, as they were particularly helpful in making these arrangements, and it would seem fitting to see the job through. I know they are special guests of the Trice family this weekend, and it was a pleasure working with them last year. Now, to conclude, it has been another good solid year for the Fishery. We are making headway with increased numbers and the new energy that they bring with them. Whilst fishing is always hard, it is a privilege to be a freeman, and we are all passionate about our fishery. We look forward to see what the next year brings. Vessels leaving for the upriver cruise to Port Woodstone depart at 11:20. Following the call, all are welcome at Rochester Cruising Club for tea and coffee before the Admiral slips his moorings and moves upstream. Finally, Mr. Mayor, we would like to wish you an enjoyable year in office as Admiral Mayor.
Thank you, Sean, for your good wishes. Thank you. I would like to thank all of you for attending these proceedings today. It's good to see so many people here. And I'm glad to hear that the future looks bright and rosy for the fishery in the Medway. And I wish you all well for the next 12 months. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Principal Water Bailiff, please close the court.
This Admiralty Court of the Mayor and citizens for the Borough of Medway is now closed. Please stand and remain silent whilst the Mayor and court depart. God save the Queen!
everyone.